What's up everyone, Jun with the Sushi Man, and in this video I'll show you how to make a classic and very popular sushi roll, at least in Japan. It's called Natto Maki. Natto, for those of you that don't know, is fermented soybeans, and it's actually considered a Japanese superfood because of its health benefits. Now, it can be intimidating, and a lot of people won't even try it because of its slimy, sticky, and stringy texture, but give it a chance, especially in a sushi roll like I'm about to teach you. You might be pleasantly surprised. Alright, now let's get right into it. So first off, what is natto? As I mentioned, natto is fermented soybeans and it's a breakfast staple in Japan. You mix it up with some soy sauce, a bit of mustard a lot of times, and just pour it onto a bowl of rice and eat it. You can add toppings like green onions, raw egg, umeboshi, nori, avocados, kimchi. I mean, there are so many things that go well with it. Personally, I think it's delicious, and I've been eating it ever since I was a little kid. However, it is an acquired taste, and it may take several tries to really start enjoying it. Even in Japan, there are many people that don't like it. So how does natto taste like? Well, it's difficult to explain because it's so unique, but it's actually pretty mild by itself. A little nutty, earthy, sort of savory, and a lot of people complain about the smell, which I don't think is that bad. But again, I'm very used to eating it, so. Usually it's the texture that grosses people out the most. It's sticky, slimy, and the more you mix it, the stringier it gets. A little bit like okra. Now the best part of natto though is the health benefits. We all know that fermented food can be good for our gut, and natto is no exception. It's packed with probiotics that help digestion and overall balance of our gut health. It's also a great source of various nutrients like protein, fiber, minerals, and vitamins. It's particularly high in vitamin K2, which is very important for bone health, and helps reduce the risk of osteoporosis. It's even said to reduce cholesterol levels and help prevent blood clots. So all in all, it's just one badass superfood that we should all be eating. Alright, now let's move on to our ingredients. First, we have our sushi rice. Now, you could simply put natto on top of regular steamed rice and it'll be just as good, but putting it inside makizushi is better for natto beginners. The vinegar sushi rice and the fact that it's wrapped inside seaweed masks that slimy and stringy texture, which is what most people are turned off by. And you can learn how to make both regular rice and sushi rice with the video right over here. And we're only going to be using about 1 cup of this to make 2 hosomaki rolls. Next, we have a couple sheets of nori, which is dried seaweed, and these are half sheets. And then the star of the show, the natto. Now, there are a bunch of different brands and types you can get, but for the most part, they're all pretty similar. Some have smaller beans, some are larger, some are chopped up, some have different seasoning packets in it, like this one here has some daikon oroshi, which is grated daikon radish. And some are specially made to have a milder smell, like the Mizukan Niowa Natto, which I couldn't find at my local Asian market, but is a great choice for natto newbies. And they usually come in a 3-pack, sometimes 4, just like this. Today I'll be using the Shirakiku Okame Natto, which is a very common and popular one that you can find at most Asian markets. We'll be using 1 pack, and natto will typically be in the frozen section. Alright, next we have some green onion, 1 or 2 depending on the size. And then some wasabi, ginger, and soy sauce. And that's it. Now let's get into our prep. Okay, first let's dice up our green onion. And we're just going to cut this crosswise as thin as we can. Alright, next let's get our natto prepared. So first let's open this little styrofoam package. And most of these will come with a couple condiments. One is tare, which is a soy-based seasoning sauce, and a small packet of karashi, which is Japanese mustard. We'll leave these off to the side for now. Okay, so now we're going to take this little sheet off. And look at that. You can already tell how sticky and stringy this is. Now we're going to mix this up with a pair of chopsticks. And the more you stir it, the stickier it's going to get, so just a fair warning. Some people like to mix it a ton, like 100, 200 stirs, which really brings out the stringiness. But I typically don't do it as much, at least when I'm putting it inside sushi rolls. If I'm putting it on top of rice, then maybe. So I'm just going to start mixing this by stirring my chopsticks. I don't know, about 30, 40 times. And look at that. You can see how much stickier and stringier it got just by stirring it up a bit. Okay, now let's add in our sauce. And I usually add the mustard if I'm eating with just rice, but for sushi we'll leave it out, especially since we have some wasabi that will go with it. The tare we'll add in though since it adds a lot of that savory and umami flavor. Now we're going to stir this up a little bit more. Alright, and that's pretty much it for the prep. Easy, right? Now let's get into rolling these. Alright, first let's make sure we have everything in place. The sushi rice, bowl of cold water or tezu, nori, our ingredients to put inside, cutting board, and a clean towel as always. Now these are going to be hosomaki style rolls, which are thin rolls with the seaweed on the outside. So there's no need to wrap our makisu with plastic, unless you really want to. Okay, so first let's lay our makisu down with the sticks facing horizontally. And if your makisu has a greenish side to it, then leave that on top rather than the tan side. The green side is flat, which makes the roll look a bit cleaner. Then we take a sheet of nori, and with the rough side facing up, we lay it down on our makisu. Now wet both palms all around, lightly but thoroughly. You don't want it to be soaking, but wet enough to help the rice not stick. And grab a ball of rice about the size of a lemon. And then we put this on our nori and spread it out evenly. And we want to leave about an inch of space on the top and a little bit of space at the bottom here. This will help make sure the seaweed overlaps on itself when we roll it. Now from here, I like to press down across this middle part to make a small trench, all the way across. And then now we're going to add the natto right into that trench. Now some green onion. Okay, now we're ready to roll. And we're basically bringing this bottom part of the nori to the top part of the rice. And we do this while using our makisu to help guide it. So hold the makisu and support it with your thumbs. And then we're going to wrap the natto and green onions by bringing this up and around. And then at this point, the natto and green onions should be fully wrapped. But this top part of the nori is still visible. From here, I like to pull the top end of the makisu away from you to tighten the roll. And then continue rolling by pulling this bottom end of the makisu away from you. And then give it some firm but gentle pressure from all sides. And there you go. Push some of that slimy natto back inside. And then we're just going to leave this off to the side and then we'll make our other one. Great, now let's start cutting these. Hosomaki rolls are traditionally cut into 6 pieces, and since I have 2 of these, I'm just going to cut both at the same time. So we put these right next to each other. And I find the easiest way to do this is to cut right in the center, and then take each half and cut it into thirds. Watch. Look at that. Even sticks to your knife. Alright, now it's time to plate these. And there you have it. Traditional natto maki. Doesn't look as intimidating now, right? And like I said, this is a great beginner-friendly way to try natto. And even if you don't like it the first time, give it a few tries. Trust me, it'll stick. Ha, see what I did there? Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video and want to learn more about making sushi, then don't forget to check out my book. It's called How to Make Sushi at Home, a fundamental guide for beginners and beyond. It's packed full of sushi knowledge that will take you from total beginner all the way to professional itamae at a sushi restaurant. We're talking 240 pages plus with full color images and step-by-step instructions. So whether you're a sushi chef in training or have always wanted to try make sushi at home, this is your answer. Links are in the description for those that are interested. Alright, good job guys. And now that you know how to make some traditional natto maki, go check out how to make another traditional hosomaki, the negihama, by going to this video right over here. Thanks for watching, and as always, feel free to leave any questions or comments below. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying my content. I'll see you on the next one. ありがとうございます。